The ground shattered behind the warriors of the Godsworn hunt as they dashed through the winding, snow-covered chasms of the Wintermoor. The rhineworms tunneling after the Chaos Worshippers who had stolen clutches of their eggs from the caves deep underground where the monstrous worms made their nests. Ahead, a chasm they did spy, and without a second thought, one by one, the warriors dove into the darkness. Pitch black greeted them as they all came to their feet. Pitch black and a deep rumbling that reverberated across the cave. A wind blew menacingly from the center of the cavern, but no light shone from an entrance near it. Wait, not wind, but breath, as the rumbling from the rhineworm's chase began to rumble underneath. From the center of the chasm rose a gigantic Troggoth. As it rose to its feet and swung its fungus-encrusted club, battle was joined in Warhammer Underworlds Wintermoor. In today's game, we'll be playing a Rivals format game of Warhammer Underworlds. This is a really fun format of Warhammer Underworlds and great for beginners getting into the game. What this format does is it allows you to play with set pre-built decks. This can either be the Rivals format deck that you'll get with a Warband, such as Dagger Stablers have their own Rivals deck that they come with. But you can also use other Rivals decks as well, as there's a variety of different Rivals decks that can be used by all Warbands in the game, and even the older Warbands from seasons in which did not include a Rivals format setting. In today's game, I'm going to be playing with Mollog's Mob. Of course, leading Mollog's Mob is Mollog the Mighty himself, a 6 health, 3 hex move, 1 defense shield fighter that has some impressive damage on his makeshift club, but also a scything attack from his whirling club attack as well. The fighter cannot be driven back, and if the fighter would be dealt 4 damage or more, the damage is reduced to just 3. This model inspires whenever it has 3 or more wound counters on it, and when it inspires, it has an extra kick on its makeshift club, giving it some extra power and knockback too. Then we have everybody's favourite, Batsquig. And this model has the fly rune mark on it. It can move 4 hexes, 2 health, a 2 dodge defense. Constantly flapping means fighters within 1 hex of this cannot be on guard. And a friendly Mollog has 3 or more wound counters on it, or is out of action, will inspire the Batsquig, give it some extra damage with its toothy maw, and extra defense as well with an extra dodge dice rolled. Next we have the Stalagquig, which is interesting because this model can't move at all. It's also placed at the beginning of the game, and it doesn't have to be placed on a starting hex. It can just be placed on any empty hex that does not contain an objective token and is not starting a hex in enemy territory. Enemy fighters treat hexes adjacent to this fighter as snare hexes in addition to other types of hexes as well, and inspires the same way as the Batsquig. When it inspires, this model actually does get an improved profile, as it will gain an attack of its Rockmaw, which has Cleave on it. Lastly, we have the Spy Shroom, which actually can move 2 hexes, has 2 health and a defense of 1 dodge. Nasty Spores is reaction, and you can use this after an activation step in which 1 or more enemy fighters made a move, were pushed back or driven into a hex adjacent to them, and they get dealt some damage. The model inspires the same way as our other little critters, and it gets a scything attack with its choking cloud, which is boosted in damage when it inspires. In today's game, I'm going to be going nice and simple. I'm going to be playing with the Mollog's Mob Rivals deck that was updated in the latest box set. In today's game, Josh is brought along to use the Godsworn Hunt. Leading the Godsworn Hunt is Thedra Skullscryer. She is a level 1 wizard, has her Dark Elf wand which can do some decent damage, and she inspires when an upgrade is applied to her. She has 3 health, a 4 hex move as well, which is nice, and 1 dodge for her defense. When she inspires, her Dark Elf wand does get sustainably more powerful, going up to a nice damage tree, and she also becomes a level 2 wizard. Joining her is Grunden Bloodeye. This fighter has a 4 hex move, 1 dodge on defense, and a 3 health. It has its Great Axe, which is 2 damage with 2 hammer dice rolling for it. When the model inspires, when it's an upgrade applied to it, it'll go up to damage 3. Shond Headclaimer is next, the model wielding the giant sword. After an upgrade is applied to this fighter, it inspires, has pretty similar stats to the other fighters we've looked at already, but it gains Cleave when the model inspires. Our javelin thrower next, Jagatha, is got her javelin, which is a 3 hex range with 3 dice rolling for crossed swords, while she only has 1 damage on it, and she can only make this attack action once per game, however, but it has +1 damage made when this fighter's done a charge action, so if she gets a run up, she gets some more damage. She inspires when an upgrade is applied to her, and this does give her a little bit of extra movement. Olo is the last human member of the Warband. The model is upgraded to an inspired fighter whenever an upgrade is applied to it, and pretty standard stuff. His hunting bow is a 3 hex range with 2 dice trying to roll cross swords and 1 damage, but he also has that 2 health, a little bit lower than the rest of them, but 4 move, 1 dodge for defense. When the model inspires, he does get cleave on his hunting bow. And lastly, we have the goodest of boys for the Warband, Gruul. This model's inspired whenever an upgrade is applied to it, has a 4 hex move, 1 dodge defense and 2 health. When it inspires, its Savage Bite does get an extra dice, and the movement of the model goes up to 5 hexes, while its defensive abilities goes up to 2 dodge as well. In our game today, Josh is going to be using the Rhineworm's Bite Rivals deck alongside the Godsworn Hunt. Right, so we are all deployed. I've got Mollog and the Bat Squig at the back of the table, and then we've got the Spite Shroom and the Starlig Squig in the front. You've got Thedra over there, and then you've got a bunch of your different Dark Oak warriors. You've got your Archer, Axe Wielder, Giant Sword, and then your Spear Thrower, and your good old Doggo Boy at the back. Forgot the names of most of them. Today's video is sponsored by Easy Roller Dice. Fantastic quality, easily legible dice that make your games quick and easy. Easy Roller Dice also sell other accessories for your dice, like dice trays, cases, bags, and cups as well. Use the code SINFULGAMING to get 20% off your next order and help support this store and the channel. Alrighty, so priority for turn 1. This is for Mollog's Mob. I got a crit and a support. Meanwhile, you got nothing, so I will get the first activation. So I'm actually going to give the first turn to the Godsworn Hunt. I don't want it with Mollog's Mob, so go for it. Alrighty, so to start with, Jagatha is going to try and throw a pointy stick at the Starlig Squig. So
chasing swords.
You need swords. That is nothing. And that is the only time she can throw her stick. I imagine you threw it right into its mouth. And it's just gone nom nom nom. And so you're going to play Engulfing Swallow. Funnily enough, that's what my Starlig Squig just did to your spear. You pick an empty hex and you scatter 2 from that hex. Roll a magic dice for each enemy fighter within 1 hex at the end of that chain. The roll of a swell, do 1 damage to that fighter, otherwise stagger that fighter. First of all, you're going to go there. We've got to see what your scatter does.
Starlig Squig.
Yep. And then 1 from there, so we drop there. That'll be the Starlig Squig and the Spite Shroom.
Squig.
And so Starlig Squig, you need, yep, that'll do 1 damage to him. I can try and stop that. I'll do those both at the same time though, and crit does nothing. I'm then going to play Slippery as a Squig. I can push either the Bat Squig or Spite Shroom, 2 hexes. I will push the Bat Squig. Then going on to my action, my second one will just, my first one will be a move with Mollog. 1, 2, 3. So we'll go there. That'll be mine. Alright, so Olo is going to shoot Mollog. So let's see.
Swords.
1. Defense is 1 for Mollog, and that's a crit. I'm then going to go with a move action with Mollog again. For 1, 2, 3. And after we do that, I'm going to do Terrifying Silhouette. This is a ploy. Enemy fighters cannot be supported in the next activation step. Olo's then going to make a charge, running away. Got a crit. I mean, I got a crit, but that doesn't do anything. Next, we're going to go a move with the Spite Shroom, just moving up to there. Alright, so you've charged in then into the Starlig Squig. You do become staggered when you do this.
Yes.
Got a crit. That's going to see me dead. Yep. Damage. 2. I'll take the Starlig Squig out. You're then going to play Master of Disaster. You use this after the main card is discarded. It's an upgrade you play, and so you can effectively get some cool bonuses, but you need to get some of those domain cards out. Alright, lastly, Batsquig makes a charge. He needs cross swords. Gets nothing. Well, that was a letdown. And just of note, because Thedra got that upgrade before as well, she did Inspire, but that will be the end of round 1. I do have an objective to score. You sure it's asleep? During your objective, you score if Mollog made no super actions in the preceding action phase and is in enemy territory. And then you're also going to score Never Punish, scoring the end phase if there are fewer friendly fighters that have 1 or more wound counters than there are enemy fighters that have 1 or more wound counters. I'm then going to play an upgrade called Tee Up the Target. You can this is an upgrade that goes on Mollog, allows me to reroll one of my double supports in an attack roll. Alrighty, so priority for turn 2. I got a support, and you got a crit in there, so you're going to have the choice. Alright, so your first action is a move with Thedra. Literally just making sure that Mollog cannot charge her.
Yep.
And then you're going to play the Domain Heaving Ground. After an activation step in which 1 or more staggered fighters are driven back, deal 1 damage to each of those staggered fighters, and this will persist until the end of the round or until another Domain Gambit is played. My first action for round 2 is going to be the Batsquig attacking again. So we need cross swords. Got a crit in there. Good. And a success. Yep. Damage 1. I'm going to play Tracking Intruders. This allows me to make a free move with someone. So we're going to go 1, 2, but I can't make any attack actions with that fighter. Like an Avalanche will then be played on Grunden. Can't be given to a large fighter, and so long after you use the main card is discarded, remove this fighter's move and or charge tokens. And that will inspire Grunden as well. And then you're going to play Sprinting Fiend on Shond as well, which will inspire them and give them the full sprint super action where they can make 2 move actions. And then you're going to play Deadly Wards, which discards your other domain, and then starting hexes and hexes that contain objective tokens are lethal. And because of that, you will score Ruinous Aftermath. This surge, you score this immediately after a friendly domain card was discarded as a result of another domain card being played. Yep, you're going to move down here. You will take 1 damage from that. And then because you hurt yourself, Threatening Rumbles, you score this immediately after a fighter on an objective token in enemy territory was dealt damage by your Warband's power card. Then during your power step as well, you're going to play Here It Comes. At the last power step in the next round, the players roll off. The winner picks 1 territory, deal 1 damage to each fighter in that territory. We're just going to go a second attack with the Batsquig here. That will just get 1 hit. Nope. That'll kill you. So not only will I get the point for killing, I'll also get Natural Hazards where I score this if I take an enemy fighter out by damage not dealt by Mollog. And then I'm going to spend those 2 glory to play 2 upgrades on Mollog. The first of these is going to be the Mighty and the Meek, where it stops you being able to reroll attack and defense dice where you're adjacent to this fighter. And then Grump as well, a reaction where after this fighter's attack action, if that attack action took out someone, I can remove their move and or charge tokens. Your third action will be charging the Batsquig. So go for it. See what we get. Is there anything?
That is nothing.
Nothing? Cool. So Mollog has charged. I do take a damage from going on a lethal hex, but we need hammers. I can reroll the double support into a support, so that's 2 successes.
It's a crit.
Nope. That will be 3 damage. And so on top of the point for killing you, I will score the Surge objective Bonk. Score this immediately after your Warband dealt precisely enough damage to take an enemy fighter out of action. And so the upgrade on Mollog, I'm going to break the Grump because I can remove after a successful attack action that takes someone out of action. I charge token, but I do break the upgrade as I do it. Alrighty, and your last action for the round is going to be a move with your Spear Thrower. Alrighty, my last action then will be Mollog, who's going to make a charge into Thedra. And so we get a crit, and I can reroll the double support. Doesn't, so just a crit. But still take 3 damage. So, end of turn. You're going to score nowhere to run. You score this in the interface of 2 or more surviving enemy fighters are each within 1 hex of 1 or more lethal hexes. Ooh, nice. You are. In fact, you've got 3 because all the objectives are lethals at the moment too.
Yep.
And score this in the end phase if there are no adjacent fighters. If each friendly fighter is not in friendly territory, when you score this, gain 1 additional point. Unfortunately, not each of them are, but you will get the point still. And then I'm going to score Utter Carnage. Score this in the end phase if 3 or more enemy fighters are out of action. Or there's a few surviving, but I've killed 3, so I'm going to score it for that. And it's +2. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Alrighty, so priority for turn 3. And I got a single crit, that is it. You, meanwhile, got nothing, so
Oh no.
I will get the turn. We are going to go with a charge with Mollog.
Surprise.
Alrighty, so Mollog is going to start the turn off by making a charge into the poor little doggo. I can re-roll that double support for 2 successes.
Not crit doggo.
No. That is 4 damage now because he's inspired. Alright, we're then going to play the Gambit, Always About. I can choose a friendly minion that is out of action and place the minion on an empty starting hex, then give the fighter 1 charge token. So I'll do that, and then I'll then play It's Not Just a Rock. I choose a fighter that's within 1 hex of a blocked hex, edge hex, or friendly static squeak and give them a move token. And that'll be my turn. You're then going to upgrade Grundon with Up for a Fight. And then he's going to boot the Starlight Squeak. Cool. In hammers. Yep. That sadly will take out the Starlight Squeak.
3 damage.
If you've got nothing to play, I'm going to make a charge with the Bat Squeak. Looking for cross swords, and that will be nothing. You're then going to play Tough Enough, and this is going to go on Jagatha. That will inspire her. You're then going to try and stab the Bat Squeak back. Nothing. Well, I think our next action then is going to be a... I'm then just going to make a move with the Spike Shroom. And you're going to poke the bat again with Jagatha.
Yep. 1 success.
1 success. Defense of 3 with the bat squeak. Nothing. Damage.
1.
1. Take a wound. Then going to play the right bait. Choose 1 friendly fighter and an enemy fighter, each of which is adjacent to the other. Deal 1 damage to the chosen fighter. If either chosen fighter is within 1 hex of a hazard hex, stagger the chosen enemy fighter. You'll then score Gone Without a Trace. Alrighty. I'm then going to risk it for the biscuit and Spike Shroom. Oh no, I've only got 1. I can't charge the move. Alright, he's going to move. We're going to go 1, 2. Jagatha is then going to get an upgrade of Boots of Warding that can be dealt damage. It can't be dealt damage by power cards or lethal hexes. And she's going to have Earth-Shattering Tread. While this fighter has 1 or more charge and or move tokens, you count everything as lethal hexes. And she's then going to charge the Spike Shroom, so go for it.
1.
1.
It's alright, I just want to push you back.
And you push me back. So, with that, we're going to have end of turn. I'm going to score my hand. Alright, so everyone gets dealt 1 damage. I don't think it's...
We roll off.
Oh, we roll off? Alright, so roll off. I got a crit and support. You got a double support, so I will win. So pretty obvious I'm going to pick your territory.
Yeah, won't kill anyone though.
Won't kill anyone. It's never going to kill anyone regardless, but We are going to have scoring. All right, end of game. You're then going to score Deadly to All. You score this immediately after an activation step or power step in which 2 or more fighters were dealt damage. We've also got Get Out the Way. Score this in the end phase if there are more friendly fighters in enemy territory than enemy fighters. And lastly, you're going to score Corralled Like Sheep. Score this in the end phase if each surviving enemy fighter is in the same territory.
I won't score that.
Oh wait, no, you won't score this one, sorry. Alright, so end of scoring for Mollog. I'm going to get Looming Menace. Score this in the end phase if there are no enemy fighters within 2 hexes of a surviving Mollog. And if Mollog made a attack action, I score an additional glory point for it. So I'll score 2. I'm then going to score Troggoth Triumphant. I'll score 3 points because Mollog is the only fighter in enemy territory. Score Ignore at Your Peril. Score this in the end phase if there are 1 or more friendly surviving minions. And 1 or more of those minions are not adjacent to an enemy fighter. I win because you pushed me back.
How many points is that? 1?
1. So, little talk on the side here. Regardless, if you didn't push me back, you wouldn't have got 2 points. I would have won by 1 anyway. So, regardless, I just had a card that got you either way.
Yeah.